when up the lane came a neat little landau, the coachman with his coat only half buttoned, and his tie under his ear, while all the tags of his harness were sticking out of the buckles. It hadn't pulled up before she shot out of the hall door and into it. I only caught a glimpse of her at the moment, but she was a lovely woman, with a face that a man might die for. "The Church of St. Monica, John," she cried, "and half a sovereign if you reach it in 20 minutes. This was quite too good to lose, Watson. I was just balancing whether I should run for it, or whether I should perch behind her landau, when a cab came through the street. The driver looked twice at such a shabby fare, but I jumped in before he could object. "The Church of St. Monica," said I, "and half a sovereign if you reach it in 20 minutes. It was 25 minutes to 12, and of course it was clear enough what was in the wind. My cabby drove fast. I don't think I ever drove faster, but the others were there before us, the cab and the landau, with their steaming horses, were in front of the door. When I arrived, I paid the man and hurried into the church. There was not a soul there, save the two whom I had followed, and a surpliced clergyman, who seemed to be expostulating with them. They were all three standing in a knot in front of the altar. I longed up the side aisle like any other idler who has dropped into a church. Suddenly, to my surprise, the three at the altar faced round to me, and Godfrey Norton came running as hard as he could toward me. "Hank," he cried, "you'll do. Come. "What then?" I asked. "Come, man, come, only 3 minutes, or it won't be legal." I was half dragged up to the altar, and before I knew where I was, I found myself mumbling responses which were whispered in my ear, and vouching for things of which I knew nothing, and generally assisting in the secure tying up of Irene Adler, spinster, to Godfrey Norton, bachelor. It was all done in an instant, and there was the gentleman thanking me on the one side and the lady on the other, while the clergyman beamed on me in front. It was the most preposterous position in which I ever found in my life, and it was the thought of it that startled me into laughing just now. It seems there had been some informality about their license, that the clergyman absolutely refused to marry them without a witness of some sort, and that my lucky appearance saved the bridegroom from having to sally out into the street in search of a best man. The bride gave me a sovereign, and I mean to wear it on my watch chain in memory of the occasion. "That is a very unexpected turn of affairs," said I. "And what then?" "Well, I found my plans very seriously menaced. It looked as if the pair might take an immediate departure, and so necessity very prompt and energetic measures on my part. At the church door, however, they separated, he driving back to the temple, and she to her own house. "I shall drive out into the park at 5 as usual," she said, as she left him. I heard no more. They drove away in different directions, and I went off to make my own arrangements. "Which are?" "Some cold beef and a glass of beer," he answered, ringing the bell. "I have been too busy to think of food, and I am likely to be bustier still this evening. By the way, Doctor, I shall want your cooperation." "I shall be delighted." "You don't mind breaking the law?" "Not in the least." "No running a chance of arrest?" "Not in a good cause." "Oh, the case is excellent." "Then I am your man." "I was sure that I might rely on you." "But what do you wish?" When Miss Turner has brought in the tray, I will make it clear to you now," he said as he turned hungrily on the simple fare that our landlady had provided. "I must discuss it while I eat, for I have not much time. It is nearly 5 now. In 2 hours we must be on the scene of action. Miss Irene, or Madame, rather, returns from her drive at 7. We must be at Briony Lodge to meet her." "And what then?" "You leave that to me. I have already arranged what is to occur. There's only one point on which I must insist. You must not interfere, come what may. You understand?" "I'm to be neutral?" "To do nothing whatever. There will probably be some small unpleasantness. Do not join in it. It will end in my being conveyed into the house. 4 or 5 minutes afterwards, the sitting-room window will be open. You are to station yourself close to that open window. Yes, you are to watch me, for I have been visible to you. Yes, when I raise my hand, so, you will throw into the room what I give you to throw, and will, at the same time, raise the cry of 'Fire!' You quite follow me?" "Entirely." "It is nothing more formidable," he said, taking a long cigar-shaped roll from his pocket. "It is an ordinary plumber's smoke rocket, fitted with a cap at either end, to make it self-lighting. Your task is confined to that. When you raise your cry of 'Fire!' it will be taken up by quite a number of people. You may then walk to the end of the street, and I will rejoin you in 10 minutes. I hope that I have made myself clear. I am to remain neutral, to get near the window, to watch you, and at your signal to throw this object, then to raise the cry of 'Fire!' and to wait you at the corner of the street." "Precisely." "Then you may entirely rely on me?" "That is excellent. I think, perhaps, it is almost time that I prepare for the new role I have to play." He disappeared into his bedroom, and returned in a few minutes, in the character of an amiable and simple-minded nonconformist clergyman. His broad black hat, his baggy trousers, his white tie, his sympathetic smile, and general look of peering and benevolent curiosity were such as Mr. John Hare alone could have equalled. It is not merely that Holmes changed his costume. His expression, his manner, his very soul seemed to vary every fresh part that he assumed. The stage lost a fine actor, even as science lost an acute reasoner when he became a specialist in crime. It was 6:15 when we left Baker Street, and it still wanted 10 minutes to the hour, when we found ourselves in Serpentine Avenue. It was already dusk, and the lamps were just being lightened as we paced up and down in front of Briony Lodge, waiting for the coming of its occupant. The house was just such as I had pictured it from Sherlock Holmes's succinct description, but the locale appeared to be less private than I expected. On the contrary, for a small street in a quiet neighborhood, it was remarkably animated. There was a group of shabbily dressed men smoking and laughing in a corner. A scissors grinder with his wheel, 2 guardsmen who were flirting with a nurse girl, and several well-dressed young men who were laughing up and down with cigars in their mouths. "You see," remarked Holmes, as we passed to and fro in front of the house, "this marriage rather simplifies matters. The photograph becomes a double-edged weapon now. the chances are that she would be as averse to its being seen by Mr. Godfrey Norton as a client is to coming to the eyes of his princess. Now the question is, where are we to find the photograph? Where indeed? It is most unlikely that she carries it about with her. It is cabinet-sized, too large for easy concealment about a woman's dress. She knows that the king is capable of having her waylaid and searched. 2 attempts of the sort have already been made. We may take it, then, that she does not carry it about with her. Where, then? Her banker or her lawyer? There is that double possibility, but I am inclined to think neither. Women are naturally secretive, and they like to do their own secreting. Why should she have it over to anyone else?